These are the top 10 stories on TV Platinum. On number 1, the National Association of Nigerian Students (NANS) has threatened to shut down critical infrastructure nationwide if the federal government fails to address the demands of the Academic Staff Union of Universities (ASU). NANS Assistant General Secretary Emmanuel Adejuwon, speaking in Abuja, warned the students will mobilize for protests that could cripple airports, highways and government offices if the strike goes ahead. Adejuwon stressed that children of the poor are always the ones most affected by ASU strikes, adding that this strike must not be allowed to happen. On number 2, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has assured Brazilian investors that Nigeria's economic reforms are yielding results, insisting that corruption has been curbed since he assumed office. Speaking at a meeting with the Brazilian ministers and the Brazil Business Group, Tinubu highlighted opportunities in food security, renewable energy, technology transfer and manufacturing. On number 3, the Nigerian police force says it has made significant breakthroughs in anti-crime operations in Kebbi and Abia State. First Public Relations Officer Muyiwa Adejobi confirmed that police rescued 5 kidnapped victims, neutralized 5 suspects and recovered a cache of arms and ammunition. In one operation on July 27, 2025, 3 men abducted in Zangara village, Shanga local government area of Kebbi State were rescued after a gun battle at Shanga Hills forced the kidnappers to flee with gunshot wounds. On number 4, President Bola Tinubu has called for a united African front in combating terrorism, cybercrime and transnational crime, declaring open the African Chiefs of Defense Staff Summit 2025 in Abuja. Tinubu, represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, urged military leaders to develop a new doctrine of continental defense built on trust, shared intelligence and coordinated strategy. He said the scale of threat facing the continent demands urgent cooperation and a framework that allows Africa to speak with one voice and act with one purpose. On number 5, the Social Democratic Party SDP has condemned FCT Minister Nyesom Wike for allocating the historic old parade ground in Area 10 Abuja to the ruling APC for its new national secretariat. The SDP described the move as executive recklessness and abuse of power, warning that a national monument reserved for civic and cultural events should not be converted into a party facility. Party spokesman Araba Rufus Ayenigba urged President Tinubu to override and revoke the allocation in the interest of national heritage and public trust. On number 6, former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has condemned the rising wave of killings by terrorists, bandits and criminal gangs across Nigeria, citing Amnesty International figures indicating that over 10,000 people have been killed in just 2 years. Obi lamented on X that despite not being at war, Nigeria experiences killings and abductions at a worrisome daily rate. He urged urgent reforms to secure lives and restore citizens' confidence in the state. On number 7, Labour leaders have called on the federal government to urgently diversify the economy to stem job losses and declining worker welfare. Speaking at the 33rd Annual Industrial Relations Seminar of the Chemical, Footwear, Rubber, Leather and Non-Metallic Products Employees Union in Ilorin, Kwara State, Union President Bolarinwa Sunday warned that boosting productivity under the current economic hardship is nearly impossible without deliberate reforms. He urged governments to implement people-oriented policies to protect workers. On number 8, the Federal Capital Territory Administration has cleared over 1,000 shanties and illegal structures along a 2-kilometer road corridor in Karsana near Gwarimpa District, Abuja. Director of Development Control Mukhtar Galadima, who supervised the operation, said the exercise targeted people of questionable character occupying road corridors but deliberately spared the homes of indigenous residents. The demolition forms part of the FCTA's wider citywide sanitation campaign. On number 9, the Academic Staff Union of Universities (ASU) has issued fresh warnings to the federal government, saying lecturers' patience has been stretched to breaking point. Zonal coordinator of ASU Akure Zone, Professor Adiola Egbedokun, said at a press conference in Ekiti that President Tinubu's administration has failed to meet long-standing demands 2 years after assuming office. ASO has now called on the National Assembly, religious leaders and students to intervene, warning that a nationwide strike may soon be unavoidable. And lastly, in a parallel announcement, the Nigerian police force highlighted yet another success against kidnappers operating in northern and southeastern states. Beyond Kebbi, security forces in Abia State also rescued kidnapped victims, killed several armed criminals, and seized sophisticated weapons. Police authorities insist the operations show progress in the fight against armed banditry and criminal gangs, promising to intensify the crackdown nationwide. And that's the top 10 stories on TV Platinum. I am Hakima Dada. Do well to subscribe to all our social media platforms for more news updates. Thank you for watching and bye for now.